Luke, many congratulations. Straight set to win there over Lee Evans, but probably doesn't tell the whole story. How did you assess the performance there?
Lucky boy. I felt like, everything felt good. The throw felt good, practice went well, all the preparation was good, no nerves, everything would have went the way I wanted it to, but this is darts, it's not always going to be the way I want it to be. I think like you say, that the scoreline didn't probably reflect the way the game went. It could have been a lot closer. I think Lee missed a lot of doubles. In certain parts of the game, I just managed to clean up when he missed, and I've had a couple of games like that this year where I've been a very lucky boy. But when I've been that lucky boy, I seem to go on and do well. But for me, it's one of them things where I won't look negatively on the performance. It's just one of them. It's important to get through the first game because it feels like two different competitions. Like when I come back after Christmas, I'll be a different animal. That's for sure.
And you come into this year's World Championship as a tournament favourite. Does that create added pressure for you?
Yes, it does. It does add added pressure to you, of course, because everyone expects you to play, that A game all the time. But for me, I don't seem to look into it too much. I think I've said it in many interviews. I think there's about 6 favourites that are on the sheet. I think I could probably tell you the top 6 in the world. Any one of them could win. But there's also about another 10 or 12 people that also possibly could win. So for me, you can't look into that too much. I mean, maybe I am the favourite. Maybe I deserve to be the favourite. Maybe that's everyone else's different opinions. But I'm here to be world champion for myself and my family, not for the people that would put me as favourite and say I'm going to do it. So yeah, and regardless of what happens in this tournament, I've had a fantastic year. And for me, I've achieved a lot more than I imagined in 2023. So in a way, anything else would be a bonus.
And your form since October has been incredible. You've won 21 of your last 22 televised matches. Just how confident are you in your game at the moment?
Well, I'm hoping it'll be 26 or 27 in a few weeks. But that's another great record for myself. The stat I love was there's only 2 people that's ever won 3 major titles in one calendar year, and that's Phil Taylor and Mike Van Gerwen, the 2 greatest dart players that's ever lived. If I can have half of their career, I'll be a very happy man. So yeah, I'm really pleased, like I said, with the way this season's gone. And in a way it could be dangerous because it feels like a free run for me. Everyone expects me to win, and they do. For me, if I was to go on and win, then it'd probably be the greatest year that I'll ever live. But if it ain't, I'll still be very happy with my achievements in 2023.
Thanks, Luke. Well done.
Thank you.
Luke, you said lucky boy there, but did you ever feel in danger? Because it always seems as if you had the gears to go through if needed.
Yes, I did feel lucky, but I almost changed my name to Lucky Luke in a way. I didn't feel like I didn't panic. That was one of the main things, because that's something that never works out well if you start panicking. But yeah, I was lucky because Lee did mess a few doubles in the right moments. He did, and it could have been a completely different game. So yeah, it was important that I hit them right shots at the right times after he missed, because if he'd have hit them shots when I would have missed, yeah, the anxiety would have crept in and I'd have been thinking I don't want to be going home as a loser.
Of all first round winners that you could have got, was this the worst one for you because it's someone that you know well, you're quite close to and you play pairs with, so you know each other's games so well? So was that the worst one you could have got? Yeah,
I mean, excuses aside, yes, it probably would have been, because when you play someone that you really like, you get on really well with, and someone it's always harder. Obviously my best friend in darts is Ryan, so everyone knows that, and it's obviously I play well against him, but it's still hard because you don't like. It's hard. You don't like beating them because you want them to do well also, but you have to differentiate from that and put your business head on to win. So yeah, it probably was one of the toughest draws I could have got. But there's also a couple of draws that you probably wouldn't have wanted to get. Standard-wise, there's a few good players in the Pro Tour and the international qualifiers. So but I thought he played well. I think he deserves a lot of credit. He pushed me really hard there, and if I would have been 5% less from the way I played, then he would have beat me 3-0. So yeah, he deserves a bit of credit.
You touched on it there, obviously, the pressure about coming in as favourite. Did you want to send out a statement to everyone else in your first round game and set that benchmark high?
Yes, of course I did. I wanted to hit 110 average, but I just know that probably wasn't going to happen. I just know that when you're in that first game of the tournament, I think every top player says that they just want to get through it, because it really does build up the anxiety. You feel a lot more pressure on your shoulders. It feels like two different tournaments. It really, really does. You know, I've got 10 days off now. What other major tournament in darts do you have that? You don't. So yeah, I've got through that first one. Now when I come back after Christmas, I'll be in a different mindset, and I'll be looking forward to it, because you know I feel like I will be much more concentrated on it, and much more like thinking about being world champion than I did before this game.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Phil.
Luke, when we spoke to Lee after his first run win, he talked about the times that you guys played pairs together and you played in local leagues. Did those memories come flooding back before this game?
Yes and no. Lee was a better player than me when we used to play doubles. Did he say that?
Yeah.
Lee? Thanks for that. Yeah, he was a better player than me in them days. I think it was a bit before, you know, when my career started taking off. But he was a much more accomplished player than me, and it's just one of them things. I feel like sometimes when you play friends and people that you like, it's harder to play your best. Sometimes it ain't. You know, like I said, Ryan Searle's a good friend, and I seem to play well against him. So I think it's sometimes when you know how good they are, it makes you play better. But of course, you know, it was. I expected a tough game from Lee tonight, and it was tough. You know, I thought, you know, credit goes to him. He played well. He just missed doubles, and if he didn't, it would have been a lot closer game.
You've achieved a lot over the last few months. Have you had a chance really to reflect on what you've achieved?
I'm not sure. I don't really know how you sort of have that defining moment where you feel like you're finally reflected and everything hits the fan and you feel like, oh my God, I'm a 3-time major champion. So I don't really know when that moment hits. But you know, the PDC calendar is constant. It's always going. If you're not in playing darts, you're playing exhibitions. And if you're not there, your family time, you don't really get a chance to think. But yeah, I think you know what I've achieved this year has been fantastic. Really proud of myself. Because like I said in previous interviews, there's not many people that's won 3 majors in a year. So regardless of what happens in this tournament, I've exceeded all expectation in my eyes.
You talked about people are expecting you to win this tournament. Is there any expectation at all from yourself?
I mean, it's not just this tournament. I think in going forward, I think people expect a lot more from me. You know, as I go into 2024, you know, people are going to be expecting more major titles. They're going to be expecting more European Tour titles, more Pro Tour titles, World Series titles. You know, it's just the way that the game evolves. I think when you're up in the top 4, that's just part and parcel of it. And I dealt with it really well in the Players' Championships. You know, I was the favourite there, and I managed to win. So it's just one of them things you just have to get used to. Obviously, this is a new scenario. I've been, you know, when I was here last year, I was world number 5. Which is quite close to being where I am now, world number 3. But when you're in that top 4, there is a lot of added pressure. But for me, it doesn't bother me. You know, I'd rather have that added pressure than not, because if I haven't got that added pressure, then I'm not doing as good. So, yeah, I think it's just one of the things you have to deal with. You have to get better at, and the more years I experience being at the top of the game, the more I get used to it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on from that, Luke, is that on the outside, you've not changed. You're still cool hand. You still seem to be dealing with this extra expectation. But is that the case? Is this what we're seeing? Is the real you, or are you managing to keep something under wraps all the time?
You'll always see the real me. You know, I'll never change. I'll always be the placid sort of guy that just, you know, gives everyone credit and enjoys the success. You know, I was a roofer for 5 years, I think. You know, and I enjoyed what I did. I come from a working class family in a great area in Turnpike. I'm sure they'll love me shouting them out. And we always did, you know, just a normal, regular, you know, working class guy. And very, very lucky to be in the situation I am now. I have great people around me, management, sponsors, and family, and everyone around me. I'm a very, very lucky guy. I got all the top people that are supporting me. And you know, without them, I wouldn't be at the top. So yeah, I've got a lot of people to thank. But you know, I'm not done in this game. This is early on in my career, so for me, I'm happy at Smiley because I'm enjoying life. You know, I'm very, very blessed and very lucky to be a 3-time major champion. There's a lot of people that's not won major titles yet, so you know, I can't be disappointed in myself. I'm really, really pleased with the way things have gone in 2023.
So the hype isn't getting to you?
Definitely not, because even if I'm world number one, you never see me change. You know, I'm just one of them guys. You know.
Some people change, though.
Well,
Will you never change?
I've known a lot of world number ones in darts, and I've not seen any of them change. You know, sometimes obviously the pressures and anxiety can make people change, but yeah, I think everybody in darts that's made the top have always been really decent people. But you know, I'll never change, because you know it's important that you stay close to your roots and make sure you look after all the people that got you where you were. That's a very important thing, because if things don't go right, they'll be there when you need them as well. So it's important that you make sure you stay close to your roots. And I've got so many people I could thank for where I've got in the world. I probably won't do it now because there's hundreds. But it's important that you stay close to all the people that have made you the player I am today, because it's not just been an overnight success, it's been a 10-year journey for me. Thank you.
Luke, everybody always tells us how nervy it is in that first game, but when you compare it to your previous 6 World Championships, how did you feel coming in as a pre-tournament favourite? Was you more nervous or less because of the year that you've had?
Yeah, I didn't feel nervy. You know, I didn't feel shaky or anxiety was high. I didn't feel under pressure. It was just one of them games where subconsciously maybe I tried too hard. Maybe I was trying too hard to prove a point. Maybe I was trying too hard to play well. You know, the first set was an average set, and then the second set it could have been great. You know, I think I went 13 dart, and it could have been 11. Then it could have been something good again. So you know, it could have been a good game. It was just that second set I made a couple of crucial errors. So yeah, you know, that's probably what stopped me from having a 100 average game. But you know, this is darts, and everyone's not going to be perfect. I'm not always going to hit 100 averages. You know, everyone expects that from myself. I probably expect it from Michael, from Gezi, from Michael Smith. But this is darts. This is what makes darts exciting. Is that not all the time you can expect us to be at our best. It's just important when you're not at your best, you win. And I did tonight. So you know, when I come back after Christmas, I feel like it'll be a different me, because, like I've previously said, it feels like a different tournament. And you know, obviously, when I come back, I'll be more prepared than ever to, you know, go on and realise my dream. But it's going to be, you know, really, really tough. But if I didn't play like I have done the last 2 months, I'm going to be a tough player to stop.
The consistent level that you play that past 2 months is almost frightening, but you're still very, very young in your career. Do you think that there's another level that Luke Humphries can go to, and how frightening is that for everybody else?
I mean, that's a good point. I think a lot of people do forget that, you know, there's not been hundreds of players under the age of 30 that have, you know, gone on and done great things. It is tough. You know, Michael, Adrian, two that sticks to mind that have done great things at an early age. And then when you're a young person, everyone expects you to be, you know, this player that goes on and wins everything. But for me, like you said, I could have another 20 years in this business, and I hope I do. I've got a lot that I want to achieve. I want to obviously be, in 20 years, named in the greats of the sport. It might happen, it might not, but you know, it's just one of them things where, you know, I don't, you know, look at the money. I look at winning titles. I want to win, you know, as much titles as I can. And I believe I can win a lot, but you know, there could be another level in me. I could have hit my peak. No one knows, do they? That's the great thing. I could be at my peak now, and I'll never get better. I could be another level in me. So who knows what the future holds? But I do believe that there is another level to go. I feel like I can play better. I feel like I can get better. And if I do, then it's a scary thought. Who knows what can happen to me?
I know it's still early days, but I remember I spoke to Michael Smith last year before he won the World Championship, and he said, I want to end it with 3 or 4 World Championships. Are you already thinking about, I want this amount of World Championships by the time I am done with my career?
Yeah, I want 17. If I leave the game with 1 world title, then it's an achievement accomplished. I won't worry about 3 or 4. Michael can, he's already got the 1, so it's definitely more achievable. If I win this in 3 weeks, then I'll tell you maybe 3 or 4. But unless you've won the first, then that could be the hardest. Michael's done it, so I do believe he's right. He could win 3 or 4 for sure. But for me, if I can win 1, you know, that would be an accomplished, achieved, very, very well done. And I've got 20 years to do it, so it might happen in 3 weeks. It might happen in 20 years. I just hope it happens once.
Cheers, Luke. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.